Mushrooms? Like what kind of mushrooms would these? These are like oyster mushrooms?
I think so.
These are pretty, because they kind of grow in like swampy areas, right?
Swampy.
Yeah. These are very seasonal in the US, so these are kind of harder to find. This isn't a typical mushroom that you see in the US.
Okay.
A typical mushroom in the US would be like portobello mushrooms.
Can you find one here?
No, I don't think I've seen portobello here. Like these two are common mushrooms, but I'm not sure what kind of mushroom these are. I get them often, but they taste very good, but I don't know what they're
Okay, this
called.
must be Korean then.
Oyster mushrooms, they typically grow in swampy areas.
Swampy
Yes,
area.
so they're
swampy
very
area.
seasonal. But here in Korea, they're very common. I'm not
Okay.
sure if my information was right.
Okay, this
It's not like you don't see these very typical in the US very often. I don't know what kind of mushroom these are.
없대요. 거의 없는 것 같대요. 본 적이 없는 것 같고. What do you call this?
It's not portobello, but
I know. This is called
Yeah.
shiitake.
shiitake. Yeah, shiitake mushrooms. We have shiitakes too.
It's Japanese anyways,
Yeah.
right? Shiitake
Yeah.
or shiitake,
Shiitake mushrooms are pretty popular
right?
in the US. Yeah.
Right. So it's popular also in Korea.
Oyster mushrooms, they typically grow in swampy areas. 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 Oyster mushrooms, they typically grow in swampy areas.